Hi guys, so today I have a special guest for my video.
Hello.
It's Nathan, and today we're going to talk about social proof. And I'm going to talk about it in an influencer standpoint because I've been an influencer for about 4 years, and Nathan is going to talk about it in a business standpoint. And he's had experience doing marketing for a couple of different businesses, and he's also run his own startup business.
Yeah, so basically the number one thing that I really want to talk about is that I feel that marketing and sales is really overly complex, and people like to talk about a lot of different concepts, but the way you can really tie them into one simple thing is that it's really just social proof. If you want to have success as an influencer or as a business, you need to create social proof in order for people to trust you so that you can earn a sale or just improve in your craft, whatever it is that you're trying to endeavor in life. If you don't have social proof, you won't be able to succeed. All right, so basically the social proof is really the currency of how people just make themselves believable, how they can convert a sale. The whole reason why it's so valuable is because people need to know that other people find you valuable. And without that, there's no way that anybody's gonna trust you to give them their money, their time, or their trust. So you really need to build that foundation in the beginning. Without that, you will have nothing. You will not have success in business. You will not have success as an influencer. It's really built into the infrastructure of why you can succeed. It's the number one most important thing as a marketer, as an influencer, to ever have success.
So basically the key point is that social proof gives you credibility. And for an influencer, it's really important, say for instance, having a large following or getting a lot of likes per post, because that gives you credibility, and that's why people are way more likely to follow large accounts that has been established versus a smaller account that has like only 10K following. And I've noticed this pattern that it's way easier to grow an account once you have a larger following.
Yeah, so just piggybacking off that, so really in a sense for an influencer, what you really want to do is you want to create social currency before you get real currency. And that's really the path that you got to leapfrog to get to having success. It's really creating that social proof before other brands are willing to invest money into you so that you can actually have a business that you're having income in.
And another way to really show that you have social proof is getting that verified badge on Instagram. Now, to get a verified badge on Instagram, you have to have some sort of publication on a magazine or been featured on TV, or just having a larger following on other social media platforms, and that really cements your credibility. Businesses are also way more likely to pay influencers with a verified badge for a higher rate because, like, again, as I was saying, it really shows your credibility and social proof.
Okay, so one of the most important things that I see a lot of early startups or a lot of people who are like first-time entrepreneurs who don't have a lot of capital and they want to establish a brand is that they don't have the money to establish social proof in a context where that they can get into publications, get blogs writing about them, have influencers, big profile influencers publish about them, that can create some organic buzz on the internet that people will actually search up your brand and be wondering, hey, this influencer wore this. I really wonder, what about this brand? If you don't have that established, it's going to make it extremely difficult to thrive and succeed, or even have a decent amount of sales for you to establish yourself and begin to scale your business. It really starts in that very beginning, and I see that to be one of the most important things that I see young entrepreneurs fail at, is they don't establish the social proof. For whatever reason, it might be maybe they lack the capital, they don't know how to do it, or maybe they don't think that their brand is worthy of all this attention. When you really let that happen, you let that kind of seep into what you're doing as a business, there's no way else that somebody that doesn't know you, that has no idea what your brand is about, is ever going to give you their money. It's not going to happen, period.
A few other examples that I've seen other influencers show that they have credibility and social proof is by working with other big brands, networking with other big bloggers and just hanging out with them, attending to high profile events, or even going to cool places and traveling, going on these press trips. And basically these things show that you have status, and it gets your followers and other people to buy into your lifestyle. So the most important thing for influencers is really just social proof.
Okay, so to wrap things up, really when you look at the difference between running a business and being an influencer, pretty much everything that an influencer does is to move towards having higher social proof. That's basically why they're doing it. They make money by social proofing their lifestyle. You know, they have this amazing carefree lifestyle of living like luxury, and you know, they just like sit around on beaches and like, you know, drink pina coladas, and that's like how they make money. You know what I mean? The whole concept is based around social proofing their lifestyle. They have an amazing life, and that's why you want to see what they're doing, and brands want to pay them because you have the attention. And as a business, it's not really any different at all, but really the concept is much more difficult to implement because you are a business, you are a brand. You know, you are not an actual individual that gets to do high status things and wears cool, you know, high profile brands, and that's how you social proof yourself. You need to social proof yourself as a business by, you know, showing that people can trust you, that everybody else is using your product because your product is the best quality, that, you know, you have the commodification of desire that people want, whether that's, you know, it's going to make you more attracted to the opposite sex, it's going to make you more rich and a more prestigious person, or have more power, you know, whatever it is that you need to cultivate that built into the identity of your brand. It's almost like you need to personify your brand and then build social proof around that personification. And if you do that, you will have success. If you don't do that, you will fail. It's the number one thing that defines you as a good marketer or a bad marketer, period. Everything else plays second fiddle to that. And I think that's the most important marketing concept that I can ever tell any single human. Okay, so really to, you know, further, you know, delve into the concept of social proof, the number one thing that I think that can be kind of transmitted to somebody to have them understand it more thoroughly is that nobody cares about all the other things that people regurgitate all the time out there. There's like BS stuff like, oh, like be authentic, you know, like show compassion, show that you care for, you know, your audience or your customers. Like those things are important, but they don't mean anything unless you have social proof. You need to have social proof for them to even care, or else they're gonna think that you're not, you know, an expert or you're not an authority. They can't trust you, and that's really the whole foundation of building a relationship with somebody. Like if you meet somebody on the street, or if you meet somebody that wants to, like, you know, ask you out on a date, if they're dressed like a bum and they smell like, you know, urine, there's no way that person's ever going to get a date. They don't have any social proof. There are visual signs that somebody's looking for to even think that they can trust you. I mean, if you are wearing expensive clothing, you know, you look like you came from work, like you're in business casual attire, maybe that girl or that guy is going to take you a little bit more seriously and actually talk to you for a second. And then you got to charm them. You got to show that you have a good personality, and then maybe you can ask them for their number. You can't just smell like urine, go up to somebody and ask for their number. It doesn't work like that. There's a step to building a relationship. And the whole beginning of that is building the social proof. That's why guys who are good with women, they're good at building the social proof in the beginning. Guys who are bad with women, doesn't matter how good looking or rich they are, if they can't build the social proof, they're going to have a lot harder time at finding somebody that's going to trust them or, you know, buy into who they are. It's the same thing with the influencers, same thing with the brand.
And picking back off of what you were saying, it basically is kind of like having a relationship with people, and whether you are a brand or if you're an influencer, you basically are protecting your personal brand, and you're trying to get other people to believe in your personal brand or brand. And in order to do that, you need to build your social proof, and it's kind of like establishing your reputation to get people to believe in the idea or concept of your brand.
All right, basically to wrap it up, to use an analogy, a brand is really a reputation, and social proof is really what you're known for, who you are, what your identity is. And social proof is building a good identity. And if you have bad social proof, then you have a bad identity. And that's how they're kind of basically interlinked, what a brand and social proof is versus, you know, your identity and also your reputation.
And going off of what Nathan was saying, it's super, super important to get people to believe in your brand. And it's like you have to give them a reason to care. Like as an influencer, why should people care about your content? Or if you're a brand, why should people or consumers care about your product? What is like your story, your vision, your backstory? All of that is really important and really ties into social proof. So that pretty much sums up our video about social proof and why social proof is important for you if you are a business or an influencer, and how it really helps with your social media presence and online presence. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below because I would love to answer them, or even have Nathan help me answer some of them because he is a marketing guru. And it would mean a lot to me if you guys gave this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and please subscribe to my channel.